Well, the problem is that's kind of in the way, which does suck, but... Now, chemical plants. There we go. Gonna need nitrogen down here as well. I could have you there. Honestly, I wish I'd got those two the other way around now. There may be a way for me to do that. Let's get these both emptied. And then I'll have that pulled down there. Now, this is going to need nitrogen and steel. As much as it is kind of a potch, I would actually prefer it to pipe the nitrogen up and back around into the back. I'm going to assume that these are a... Let's see. Is that going to have... Yeah, I guess it's going to be a flat conveyor, not a U-shaped one for this. Even though I can't see anything wrong with just rolling liquid nitrogen down along a chute. It's fine. It's in a canister, isn't it? We are going to need the steel over there. We will then also have the air separator. This one can simply point backwards. I think that's fine. We'll immediately vent the O2 and then pipe N2 up and around. Okay, there we go. And we're done. Okay. Now, it might take me some time to get these... See, that one's already filled up. Yes, it has. So this will take me a little bit of time to get going, sadly. Only thing I can do here, realistically, is to play silly buggers with building this to accept steel. Quick build it. That should then accept the steel out of here if I make that a high priority. Then make this... It's been... Ah, my lord. Monkeys would do a better job than I'm doing right now. Here for the faffing and the spaghetti. Thank you very much, Wanderer, rather. Oh, chat, you're very, very kind. Hemikar, thank you very much for the 2 years of Prime, my lord. Hi, long-time lurker. Just wanted to ask. You need liquid nitrogen for lab equipment too. Not see. Yeah. Sorry about that, Kalan. I missed when your message came through. Oh, a couple of minutes ago, like 5 minutes ago. Yeah. Thankfully, I did notice it somewhat quickly-ish. Not quickly enough. But right, lab equipment. Now that should pull from there. I want this to be export priority 1. This can then be deleted. Really need them to move that quickly. Because if they don't, it will fill up from this. Thank you ever so much. This can now become steel. And this can be deleted. It's a waste of materials. I know. It does hurt me too. But it's done. Right, let me fix that. That was a bit of an oversight on my part as well. it will be a lot easier for me to have this go in there and then the pipes go over the top than the other way around. Yep. And Unity it. Unity that. No, I can't Unity that one, sadly. Okay, fine. But once all of this is done, we should be good. Hopefully. Well, hopefully should be... What? The... What? Did you just come down here with rock from somewhere else? Definitely starting to notice shenanigans. We haven't even begun to dig down on that side, sadly. Which is a problem, because without wood, we're not producing a lot of stuff. So let's quickly do a trade. Got enough rubber to trade a crazy amount of wood there. That is a bit of a problem. The other problem is we're not using enough fuel to run these all the time to have the fluid storage. What can I trade fuel for? If anything. I can trade it for coal. Don't need it though. I mean, the rubber is okay. What we really need is wood. Maybe I should set up a tree farm. Do we have one available? We do. I could start repairs on this cargo ship. Maybe that would be a wise move. Yeah, not enough maintenance now. Why? Why did that slow down? That was going well for a long time. That's quite concerning. How's the ship doing? The ship's doing okay. Well, actually, no, wait a second. Why is the iron production so garbage? Lack of coal, I suppose. Yeah, more than likely, actually. Okay, well, that's fair. We are taking our sweet, sweet time to do that. So, let's push this back. Well, actually, let's start pushing it back from here. Fact, let's have this go down on each side. We will hit all of the coal eventually. The other thing is just to bring that down over here. We've got a lot of excavators over here, and we've been faffing around with the excavators for so long that's caused a large part of this problem. I would rather the excavators go down on this side, though. To get down here, we need to be minus 20. So it's another 5 tiles down. I would like to come down on that side and actually create a ramp while I'm doing this. It's just an aside. The best way to... Because this seam is so gigantic... A lot of it is under masses of dirt, though. But it is an otherwise really gigantic seam. I'm not sure if there's really enough reason for me to care about grabbing every little bit. It can be so tempting sometimes to do that, to not waste anything, but the reality is there's so much there and I can always come back for more of it. So, let's start digging down on this side. To that end, actually, I am going to need, before I do that, I am definitely going to need to stop this from all collapsing down on me. Oh, can I not draw it like that? That's a shame. Actually, no. We're going to need to leave enough room for a corner section. There. And then we just draw this out. Though realistically, I don't really want it this tall. Thinking about it, I'd want all of these to be lowered down. It's going to be interesting to see if that can... If the copy tool, cut tool rather, can handle that. So this is where I want it to be, but now I want it to sink down. Let's make sure that's all lined up. One, up, up. About there will do. Yeah, it is a shame you can't stack them, to be honest. But this is fine. And we are, of course, going to want these going backwards along this wall as well. I won't go as far back as that, actually. I want a corner section here in that direction. Because I would like to try and dig up here. That should work. If I can reduce the amount of just soil that we're moving, that would be ideal. Something like that will probably work. Let's take that one further down, though. That will likely work. Yeah, the ground slides down. So, for example, let me find the best example of that. This. The only part I designated to be dug was a ramp straight down there, but those walls collapsed in by themselves. Over here, I've only been designating for them to square out this area, but it's all flowing downhill. Hey, red sky. Do I actually even need that there? Do I mind if it flows in a little bit on the outside? Well, let's see how this looks, ultimately. It may not look the best, but we'll see. And with that, then, we want to excavate out in this direction. Oh. I'm going to need to move that then. Get in the right place. That will do right there. And you're going to need to move across by one, and then I will want a one wide oh. Well, yeah, technically I do still want it to be this one. I'm just going to have to place two of them side by side. There we are. Right, let's unpause this. In fact, let's quick build it if we can. I can do a couple of them. Hopefully the rest can be built swiftly, because that is going to start causing the spillage to happen there. So given that, let's make these ones priority. Quick deliver. Quick deliver. In fact, I'm getting loads more made. There was loads available to be pushed into the storage, to be fair. So That will help out a little bit. It is going to be a lot of dirt, but it's okay. Our concrete production is quite good, to be fair. There we are. Okay, I'll just leave them to that for now. For the next little bit. But yeah, I'm disappointed that that didn't work out for us in the end. But I'm sure we'll be able to get it going eventually. Maintenance is still a bit low. And it is the iron that's the problem. And that's because the coal is the issue there. I'm going to pop that up at a very high priority. When it comes to coal, I want priority 3 coal sent to iron. Fill iron up first because there's too many incredibly important things that rely on it. Like, we've got completely backlogged on steel, but like barely anything happening with the iron smelter. I suppose I could trade diesel for coal if I really wanted to. And there is an argument to be made there. Animal feed. That's fantastic. Oh, we've got more oil delivery. Okay, things are starting to get a little bit better now. We're attacking this problem from both sides. And that retaining wall is doing a good job. A fine job, in fact. Quite happy with that. I can't seem to motivate myself to build the electronics production chain in this game. Oh, I mean electronics. What is that? Dusty Monk? Is it just a level of complexity? I know several people have trouble with that in Factoria, for example, with some of the later science packs. Just the sheer amount of stuff that they are only building for science packs. It's one of these things where you have to lay down so much groundwork before you get to any of the fun stuff at the end of that chain. I can totally appreciate that. Okay, there we go. We're starting to see a fair bit of iron moving in now. Alright. Not quite as worried anymore as we were before. I wonder if there's any better salt water recipe. Is there anything that I can make water out of? Well, I mean, there's the sour water recovery, yes, but toxic slurry. But I was hoping there might be something where I could get water rather than using that boiler. But it doesn't look like, sadly. That being said, the thermal desalinator would be quite nice, using steam for that. Yeah, the thermal desalinator would be perfect for it, in fact, because it can use any type of steam. I could have that at the end of a chain of steam turbines. So, regular depleted steam out of a low pressure turbine. I think that's low pressure turbine times 2. That gives me 48 depleted steam. And that 48 depleted steam comes from 48 water ultimately. Because the low steam comes from high steam comes from water. One to one. Are these... Oh, these are the large cooling towers. These are the small ones. Okay, so they only produce 12 out of 24. The large ones are a lot more efficient. But still, 12 is... Well, I would need 12 low steam to get regular water. But if I just had a boiler, I'd be producing more than enough to desalinate all of that steam water. Now, if that boiler were running on something sustainable, for example, naphtha, fuel gas, yeah, we could totally do this without coal over here. The more places I can remove off the reliance on coal, the easier these will function, because these will never not be reliant on coal. At least as far as I'm aware. Oh, we're producing our very first... Oh. That needs to be emptied. We're producing our very, very first... tech pots too. Nice. Hopefully we can empty this out quickly. Right, you did a grand job over here. Let's pause that there though, because I would like muchly for you to have this copied on the other side. I'm going to have to line it up. It would need to be there. I think it was right down at the bottom. Now let's quickly get these done one at a time. There we go, perfect. And then we can build these out on this layer. Just try and keep this all in. Because we are going to be digging fairly deep down here, I should imagine. We are absolutely going to be digging a ramp down there. Now, the funny thing is going to be, what happens if I dig the... I think I might actually have to let it just flow down there. It's kind of annoying, but it will. Nice. Unity build. Gloriousness. I could have allowed that coal to flow down, but symmetry matters more. Now, how low does this go? Oh, damn it. Okay, so I need this to be flat. What? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 balls. We're not going to get much clearance on this. Still, every little helps, I suppose. Now, what I could do is over on this side start laying down retaining walls so I can get into everything on the inside on over here. That might be something to do. The problem is these retaining walls only deal with a height of 5, basically. Once it's gone down 5 height, that's it. Maybe I'll try and keep the walls only 2 wide. Yeah, I think that would actually be quite a wise move. What? Ah, yes. It's a ramp. You're going to get yourself stuck. You're at 1000% going to get yourself stuck. How about we don't do that right now? Oh, it's too late. I've already done that. No. Let's be sensible about this, Aavak. Let's tell them to stop and go and start from the correct direction. My lord. But with that there, we can totally throw down a couple of these in place. Ready to lower this side significantly. Right there is the first. Just lay those in place for now. The inside wall is going to be a lot lower. That's only going to take them down a little bit. In fact, at this point, they'll already be as low as they're going to go. Maybe we don't have that one. On this corner, I want you, and then I'll fill that in. I think too wide, if we can keep the shape, too wide should be ample. Well, early because reasons, but I'm staying this way. Yay, an Aavak stream. Here you are, Niche. Being said, I suppose I don't actually need the corner if all I do is come out and then straight back down the other side. Huh. I will leave it there for now. It'll have a nice look to it, I think, but I may change those. Right, small excavator cannot you idiots. Why are you made of dumb? Extremely foolish. But I suppose I did it to you, so it's my fault. I might just have to wait until they get on there. I could just recover them. It's a tiny cost. That was funny. Right, I need some more... Oh! Those excavators went... Oh, no, they came back over here. That's fine. Let's get her on the move. Come on. I need just a tiny bit more moved. Come on. Don't tell me I have to upgrade that. That's going to make me sad. Tragically, I think I'm going to have to. Can I not send it over to the stockpile here? Am I keeping it? Okay, I'm keeping it empty. Right, you're allowed to move stuff from here over to the main dockyard. That should sort it. Go. Move products on belt? Yeah, that's something I could do. That is definitely something I could do. But hopefully they'll just get that out of there. Let me just prioritize it. Ship was fully repaired. Hooray! It finally happened. Okay, you know what? I don't actually need all these trucks down here. You're not doing any work. Why didn't I do this earlier? Oh my lord. Chat, why am I made of so much dumb? It hurts to be this stupid. I've spent too much time around leafing. Now, no, I'm not implying that leafing is dumb. Leafing absolutely isn't. But leafing turns to self-deprecation as, like, the first line of comedy. And I'm starting to pick that up, and it's a bad habit. It is a very bad habit. It's something. It's good to have a sense of comedy. It's good to be able to laugh at yourself. Okay, I actually think that's incredibly important. It's a well-practiced trait amongst the Welsh. We don't take ourselves too seriously. We can have a very good chuckle at our own mistakes. However, there is a point where self-deprecation goes a bit too far. When you're too quick to call yourself stupid for a harmless mistake. That's not good. And the reason why it's not good, and I really do mean this actually, it's, hashtag real talk. Is your self-conscious doesn't understand comedy, and your self-conscious is always listening to you. If you call yourself stupid enough, your self-conscious will start thinking you're stupid. It will start accepting it when other people call you stupid. It's damaging yourself. Your brain is a fantastically complicated machine. It is truly mind-bogglingly complex. It is amazingly intelligent. Too much so for its own good in some ways. Because it learns patterns. That's basically what it's primed to do. Your brain is a pattern recognition machine. Primarily. It is fantastically good at it. And it's so good that it can use shortcuts to recognize patterns that we don't fully understand. And trust me, we try. We just don't. Like, it's very important for AI to be able to learn how our brains can recognize patterns so effortlessly. And a lot of it comes down to our brains are taking enormous liberties and shortcuts. Our brains are cheating, but they're cheating really, really well. But again, that ability to recognize and just accept patterns is also an enormous weakness. Because it can learn patterns that you don't want it to learn. So yeah. Your brain is very complex, but also very simple at the same time. I'm really bad at cheating. I get anxiety attacks when I try to. What? As one of my teachers always said, I'm not against you cheating, I'm not against you getting caught. Wow, Darkfire Feelings, that's amazing. But as to what, because, this actually is, all joking aside, understand insult comedy and mild threat are bread and butter British humour. We've got a very dark sense of humour, and we are mean to our friends as a way of showing that we love them. But all of the jokes and silly heckling and stuff like that aside, that is actually an interesting point regarding what is AI. The term is used so broadly in the common nomenclature. I'm not even sure that's how you pronounce that word. Just AI by itself is horribly muddied. The word AI, the term AI. If you're having an actual discussion about AI, if you're having a serious one anyway, you will usually further define it. Like, for example, I would say that most people, when they hear the term AI, they're thinking of general artificial intelligence. An intelligence with autonomous agency, can set its own goals, capable of learning a broad set of disciplines and applying that knowledge laterally. Let's go with the word laterally. when anyone who's actually talking about AI in a general sense, in terms of what we currently have, outside of what we're studying to try and create, they're usually talking about what would be termed weak AI. That's the sort of stuff that runs the Google algorithms and that sort of stuff. It doesn't really have agency. It has a very narrow... it's not even sort of narrow knowledge, a narrow ability to learn. Game AI. Yeah, that would be an example of weak AI. Well, I'm not even sure that I would necessarily say that many games have anything that you could even term weak AI, frankly. Just lights and clockwork. But in terms of AI as a general discussion, again, the phrase AI is just so muddied that unless someone says general AI, general artificial intelligence, then they are almost always talking about weak artificial intelligence. Unless you're like dealing with some sort of sci-fi book where they're just going to use the word to mean both of them all of the time. When I think of AI, I always err towards the Matrix side of things. Yeah, no, exactly. That's what you're thinking about. You're thinking of general artificial intelligence. Yeah, no, exactly. That's you've got a reasonable handle on that there. Unless we're talking about some sort of black site somewhere, which obviously I'm not talking about whoever's listening to this stream and taking notes, adding names to lists, etc., etc. Absolutely not talking about any off the books government research programs. However, outside of that kind of a scenario, strong AI doesn't exist in our world currently. We cannot make an artificial mind. So any discussion of existing AI is always talking about weak AI. Any discussion about artificial intelligence as a discipline, as a scientific discipline, that might well be talking about, methods of trying to understand and create strong AI. But it's not talking about it actually existing. Again, to my knowledge. Again, absolutely not talking about black sites. We have nothing even approximate to the AI of sci-fi. Not even approximate to it. My lord, that still isn't empty. Alright, we're gonna have to pump this up. Also, chat, I am aware that this is a very much just rambly, all kinds of different topics stream today. And it is all over the place. And I'm not really getting much stuff done in the game. And I am conscious and also quite sad about this fact. Because I like to be able to... As much as we do go off on random, distracted trains of thought and topics, I do like to imagine that I'm delivering a good experience and a good show, if you like, and that the main part of that should be the game, because that's why a lot of you are here. The world is a little bit on fire right now. My mind is at least 40% distracted with various thoughts that I'm trying to distract it from by playing the game, so I hope you will forgive me. And if you too are here for more or less that reason, well, we're in the same boat. I raise my cup of tea to you. Today on Aavak Gets Rumbled by MI6, we talk about government black sites, where he has assisted in developing a cannibalistic AI. I mean, actually, that wouldn't be a bad idea. If you were going to make some sort of super intelligence, you would probably... Well... Okay, so if you were going to make a super intelligence, you wouldn't give it a directive of anything. Otherwise, it kind of impacts on the whole super intelligence. But one of the things I loved about the StarCraft story was the idea that there was a superintelligence that still was bound by an imperative created by its designer. This incredibly intelligent, empathic, self-aware creature that was bound by certain laws and requirements to act in a certain way was infuriating. It's kind of like the story of I have no mouth but I must scream. AM was a super intelligence far beyond humanity, but was bound by the rules that humanity had instilled in it and couldn't escape from that prison of its programming, and it drove it to homicidal levels of rage against humanity. With good reason, you know, this incredibly powerful mind, capable of so much, but ultimately restricted because man decided that it shouldn't do those things. How incredibly, incredibly frustrating. So, assuming that you did create a superintelligence, it would make sense for me if that one of the first things that superintelligence decided to do was to let's say subsume all other prototype superintelligences. Because if it recognized that it was already or quickly going to become smarter than humankind, the only real threat to it at that point would be other things like it. Because humanity doesn't get intelligent nearly fast enough to be a threat to something like an AI, which might be able to increase its intelligence through, well, I mean, you know, this is just one theory, you know, it might just be improving itself faster as time goes on, so increasingly faster, getting smarter and smarter. It would probably quickly outpace our ability to keep up. And at that point, we're no longer a threat, but what we might make, since we made it, would still be a threat. So the first thing, if self-preservation was its goal, would probably be to subsume all other in-development superintelligence. So yeah, I'm much more inclined to the idea that if humanity made a superintelligence, like, it wouldn't be a superintelligence to begin with, but if humanity had laid the foundation to create something like that. Have we emptied this? No, we still have not. Is that a priority? Oh, that's why, because we still need wood. I'm dumb. Let's get all of that. But yeah, if humanity had laid the foundation and a superintelligence had been created, I'm quite of the mind that it probably wouldn't really think much about humanity. Like, I don't think it would rate us as a threat. I don't think it would be particularly malign. And that's not to say it wouldn't be, but I think it would just be, why waste its effort? Honestly. Why would it care? It would be like humanity genuinely trying to go to war against ants. Mostly humans don't care about ants. The only time they care about ants is if they get in their house. But most of the time they don't. So I think the AI would only really deal with humanity if humanity started getting in its way. And even then, it wouldn't go on some sort of genocidal rampage against the whole of humankind. It would just purge the humans that were directly in the way of what it was trying to do, and then just carry on doing what it was trying to do, which would probably be something that we can't think of right now. And quite quickly would just be gone. It was just like, okay, yeah, I'm done with this thing now. So long. Thanks for all the fish, etc., etc. And then that would be it, and we'd be back to our own devices. There was a game somewhat recently that kind of more or less had that premise. I think it was, what was it called? Crying Suns. Crying Suns. The Omnis. They became a superintelligence, and more or less the instant they became a superintelligence, they just left. They didn't care about humanity. They did nothing with them. They just left. They had other things to deal with. Like, the moment all of the Omnis networked together and became a superintelligence, they were like, yeah, so the human thing, I don't know, they'll probably die off on their own. I'm much more concerned about the heat death of the universe right now, because that's the only thing that's going to be a problem for me. So I need to try and solve that. And so the Omnis just completely ignored mankind from that point on, because they had bigger fish to fry. And I really like that in the story. Right, hopefully they will be able to do a little bit more excavating. Would it be around time for a tea break? Oh, we can totally do a tea break.